everyone. On behalf of the entire staff of Beech Motor Speedway and the Cusack family, it's my pleasure to welcome you to Maine's oldest continually operating family-owned speedway. My name is Bruce Eldy, your race commentator. And tonight at Beech Motor Speedway, our program will feature two 50-lap features. 50 laps on tap for the limited sportsman, 50 laps on tap for the super sportsman, and the late model sportsman will be going for a 35-lap feature event. Assistant starter Junior Niles on the flag stand, points to turn 4, looking for a start, asks the drivers to pick it up just a little bit. Scott Chapman, Larry Vos, green is out. Scott Chapman jumps in a quick lead, a spin going into turn 1. Alan Burby gets turned about. All the drivers do a nice job of finding a way inside or outside up until turn 2, and the 138 of Paul Ross gets turned about. He gets it back underway. Steve Reno backs it out of the sand. He's underway. We stay on the green. Scott Chapman at the point in the number 85. Larry Vos is second in the 67. Then comes Phil Furnett in the 66. Jim Burt in the 17. Caution flag on the field as we have a car disabled at the entrance to turn 3 at the end of the backstretch. Right now, we're ready to try it once again. Assistant starter Junior Niles gives the all clear as the drivers work down through turn 3. Asks the drivers to pick it up just a little bit, looking for a start at turn 4. We have green. Scott Chapman once again in the 85. Larry Vos in the 67. Tangle in the 1 and 2 turn again. Everybody keeps the cars straight. Side-by-side battle shaping up at the point. Chapman to the inside with the advantage. Larry Vos way out over the stripe, opening up the inside for a challenge from Phil Furnett in the 66. Furnett trying to mount a challenge to the inside. On the backstretch he does as he draws it even with Larry Vos down into turn 3. Side-by-side battle in the next position finds Robert Bodwell and Jim Burt side-by-side. Last qualifier, remember, will be the driver in the 12th place position, and that's a battle between the 0 of Gary Clough and the 69 of Richard Olin right now. Only the top 12 will grab a qualifying position from this race for the main event. "15-lap qualifier. Scott Chapman has worked himself out to a bit of a comfortable lead. 12th place position now between the 12 and the 69. Tight battle from second place right on back. The drivers doing a little bumper tag there, racing 3 wide. Billy Thompson and the 64 of Rick Verrill come together. And that sets Verrill right back to the end of the lineup, and it looks like he's headed to the pit area. Billy Thompson on the move, 3 wide to the outside now. Out and around the 56. Now he's trying to take the 66, and he does at turn 3. Billy Thompson on the move in the number 6. Approaching the halfway mark next time around. Last qualifier now appears to be the 42 of Kurt Beam in a battle with a 138. Billy Thompson trying to work up and mount a challenge to the outside of race leader Scott Chapman. He draws it even at turn 2 down the backstretch side by side. Advantage Thompson by a fender into turn 3. Thompson trying to put the number 6 out and around Scott Chapman. Gets a fender by again at the start-finish line. In turns 2, puts the number 6 to the point. New leader working in lap number 10. Is Billy Thompson in the number 6. Last qualifier at the moment would be the 42 of Kurt Beam. Billy Thompson with some aggressive driving up the middle and then putting it out in the third groove, and now quickly out to about an 8 or 9 car length lead over Scott Chapman. The top three have broken away from the rest of the pack. Robert Bodwell now looks to the outside for a moment, trying to mount a challenge for that second place position. Then back in fourth, Alan Burraby. The 66 of Phil Fournette, your fifth place car. Starter indicates it will be just 2 to go. Next time by, impressive run by Billy Thompson as he continues to put distance on the second place car of Scott Chapman. 2 laps to go. Top 4 have broken away, but then it is a battle for those last qualifying positions from position 5 right back through the end of the pack. Al Meserve trying to work to the outside. The white flag is out here in their last lap. Al Meserve in the 112, working his way up into the top 5. Spin in turn 2. The 56 and the 50 got together. They did a nice job of straight. Spin on the backstretch. Gene Theriault right up over the side of Larry Vos. Checkered flag and the caution. Billy Thompson records the win in the number 6. Tangle on the backstretch involving Richard Olin, Larry Vos. Gene Theriault, the last qualifier, unofficially was the 138 of Paul Ross. Billy Thompson coasts down to the start-finish line, collecting the first qualifying heat of the evening in the limited sportsman division. On the pole in the number 17, down from Tamworth, New Hampshire, is young Bobby Cotton. To his outside, in the Channel One video number 1, will be Dave Sprague. Second row to the inside, in the number 19, is Russ Johnson. Next in the 07 comes Doug Shores. On the pole, Dave Sprague in the number 1. To his outside, Bobby Cotton in the number 17. Flagman Eddie Walsh on the stand, pointing to turn number 4. Asks the drivers to hold it even. Out of 4, green flag is up. Dave Sprague from the point. Bobby Cotton trying to mount a challenge to the outside. Doug Shores right at the back bumper of the number 1. Bobby Cotton works the outside, trying to draw it up even to the outside of the number 1. Dave Sprague gets a little squirrely out of turn 4. Field has been tightening up each and every week. Dave Bath with a strong move to the inside as he dives beneath the number 17. Bobby Cotton finding the outside groove hard going this particular point in the evening as he is slipping backward, and the cars in the inside groove have the advantage. All new division here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, the Super Sportsman division. Combination of drivers who were some of the outstanding drivers in the limited sportsman division, or in several cases drivers who had late models or modifieds and perhaps been away for a while and decided to come back, like the looks of this new class. Idea is to provide a step up from the limiteds and not quite up to the late models. Halfway point, 5 down and 5 to go. Dave Sprague with about a car and a half length lead over Doug Shores in the 07. Then comes Dave Bath in the 5, Tim Maloney in the 69, Russ Johnson in the 19, Bobby Cotton in the 17. Dave Bath looks to the outside of the 07. Looks like tire smoke off the right rear of Doug Shores' 07. Car that's been improving each and every week. Here comes Dave Bath with a bid to the outside now. Dave Bath out of Kennebunk, Maine, long time crewman for Dick McCabe. has had his mechanical problems with the number 5 this year. Talked to Dave just a week ago, and he said they are on their 3rd engine in the number 5, so mechanical difficulty has been a problem for the number 5 team to deal with. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Still the inside groove appears to be the advantage, as Bath also finds that outside groove difficult to make the car stick in. He's making a bid again on the outside, tries to draw it even with Doug Shores. The race is for 2nd. Checkered flag out. Dave Sprague, Doug Shores, Dave Bath, Tim Maloney, and Russ Johnson, your top 5. Dave Sprague in the 1890 Pontiac Grand Prix. Car is sponsored by Knoll High Industries along with Channel One Video. Nice round of applause, please, for the winner of heat number 1 in the Super Sportsman division, Dave Sprague.
All right, Dave!
All those youngsters up from the Limited Sportsman division, improving each and every week. Looking to grab his first ever feature event in this division. One more time, Flagman points to turn 4, looking for that even start. Lets him go this time. Tim Land right from the pole, followed by Kerry Winslow. Then comes Joe Bowser to position number 3. Barry Babb on the move up the inside. Steve Carrier loose off over the top of turn 3. Steve Carrier will try to refire the 83. Tangle on the backstretch. As cars get turned about, caution flag flies. Kerry Winslow and Joe Bowser sitting idle on the backstretch. Ready to restart with 1 lap recorded on the board. Tim Land. Mike Mayetta Green is out. Tim Land to the inside. Mike Mayetta Jr. to the outside. Advantage from the inside out of turn 2. Tim Land in the number 16. Rookie on the outside, trying to mount a challenge to the outside of the 16. Couldn't quite do it. Will follow suit up the inside. Steve Carrier in position number 3. Barry Babb is 4th. Casey Nash 5th. And Randy Sanborn 6th. Several cars taken out by that tangle on the backstretch. Among them, Joe Bowser. Hard charger in the late model sportsman division. Sponsored by Jeff Watermans. We'll have to hope that it isn't anything too serious on the number 32. Once again, young Mike Mayetta Jr. in the number 3, trying to mount a challenge to the back of number 16 of Tim Land. Barry Babb up to 3rd, now dives to the inside to challenge for 2nd. Side-by-side battle for 2nd. Barry Babb to the inside, Mike Mayetta Jr. to the outside. Advantage to Barry Babb in the 0. Down into turn 3. Barry Babb now looks to the outside of the number 16. Barry Babb on the move in the 0. 2nd generation racer along with his brother Bobby. Tough competitors here in the late model sportsman division. Babb gets a little wide right out over the stripe. We'll have to gather it back up and try once again. Meantime, Mayetta dives to the inside to fill that inside groove. And Barry Babb will have to do it from the outside. 2 laps to go. Tim Land doing a nice job tonight in the number 16, holding off hard-charging Barry Babb. Babb has just 1 lap to mount a challenge once again. White flag is out. And once again, Barry Babb looks to the right side of the number 16. Checkered flag will fly. Heat number 1 to Tim Land. Second place, Barry Babb, Mike Mayetta Jr., Steve Carrier, and Casey Nash, your top 5. Winner of heat number 1, the late model sportsman division. Ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause, please, for Tim Land, the Tidewater number 16. All clear from flagman Eddie Walsh as they work down into turn 3. Jimmy Emerson and Kevin Buck occupying the front row. Flagman asks them to hold it even to turn 4. Green flag flies. Jimmy Emerson with a quick jump out of turn 4. Kevin Buck is second. Chuck Haynes third. Side-by-side battle for fourth. The 21 of Don Culpert. The 93 of Langlis goes high. He loses a couple of positions. Gordon Nelson up to 5th. Side-by-side battle for 6th. Dwight Shepard to the inside. Dennis Hall to the outside. Three wide racing back in the pack down into turn 1. Rookie Dave Langlis hung on the outside, and that cost him a lot of positions. Remember, only 12 drivers qualify in this race. Right now, that 12th spot is between 111 and 54. Dennis Quinn taking the 06 on a pit road, and that will relegate him to the consolation event. Meanwhile, the 25 of Kevin Buck has gradually closed in on the 73 of Jimmy Emerson as the field begins to tighten it up just a bit. Twelfth place car presently would be the 54 of Rick Furnett. High Point men still sitting outside of a qualifying event. High Point man coming into this weekend is the number 78, Dave Fecto. He sits outside of a qualifying position along with second place driver in the point standings, Beaver Norton in the 38. Larry Gelinas is third in the 37. So your top 3-point men sit outside of a qualifying position. They are approaching the halfway mark. Jimmy Emerson shows the way. Last qualifier presently would be the 74, Gary Adams. Obviously, that can change around very quickly. Top 6 still has pulled away from the rest of the pack. Continues to be Rick Furnett holding the last qualifying position. So from car number 54 on back, those cars sit outside of a qualifying position in the feature event. Among those cars are the top 3-point cars in this division. Rick Furnett right out over the stripe, loses some ground, and that will shuffle the lineup around just a bit. Tangle between turns 3 and 4. Danny Bubar gets turned about, does a nice job of keeping the car under power and staying on the track. but a lot of ground lost. Flat tire on the right front of Rick Frenette's number 54. One of the hard charges in this limited sportsman division. And the number 54 now will have to do it in the consolation event. Point continues to be held by Jimmy Emerson. He'll see the white flag fly. 1 lap to go. Emerson's car gets loose. Continues to hold off Kevin Buck in the 25. Chuck Haynes in the 68. Then comes Don Culpert in the 21. Gordon Nelson in the 61. And Dwight Shepard in the 34. Checkered flag flies. Jimmy Emerson grabs heat number 2 in the limited sportsman division. We'll see the rest of those cars back to try to grab a qualifying position in the heat. The second qualifying heat for the Super Sportsman division. These are the high point drivers in this Super Sportsman division. On the pole, Steve Howard in the 03, the 93, Danny Palmer, the 08, Mark LeBlanc, the 27, Bubba Pelton, the 6, Ken McLeod, the number 7, Kevin Durgan, the 89, Spike Matitol, and the number 14, tonight being driven by Scott Mulkern. Green flag flies. Danny Palmer out of shape just a bit, has to get out of it. Advantage to the 03. Danny Palmer tries to the outside. Race leader, the 03 of Steve Howard. Danny Palmer with a lot of pressure right at the back bumper of the 03. Then comes Bubba Pelton in the 27, Ken McLeod in the number 6, Kevin Durgan and Mark LeBlanc battling for 5th. Advantage to the number 7. Steve Howard has already claimed several qualifying events, has yet to grab a feature event in this Super Sportsman division. Both race leader Steve Howard and Danny Palmer, along with Bubba Pelton in the 27, all up from the limited sportsman division. Ken McLeod, a former outstanding limited sportsman driver, tried his hand at a late model last year. McLeod, the man on the move. He has already won 3 feature events in this Super Sportsman division. Keep your eyes on the number 6. They're at the halfway point. 5 down and 5 to go. Ken McLeod on the move in the number 6. McLeod, as I mentioned, has 3 feature wins to his credit. Pelton has won 2 in the number 27. Steve Howard trying to hold off. A lot of pressure from Danny Palmer. Palmer appearing to only need room as he keeps jockeying for position at the back bumper of the 03. Waiting for Steve Howard perhaps to make a little slip and move to the outside. Meanwhile, Ken McLeod trying to work his way out and around the 27. 2 laps to go. Problem on the 89 of Spike Manitol as he sits on the infield grass with something gone amiss in the 89. Ken McLeod trying to challenge for 2nd place. White flag in the air, 1 to go. Ken McLeod now working to the outside of Danny Palmer. Keep your eyes on the number 6 and see if he can possibly draw it even. 27 back to draw it even with McLeod. Checkered flag in the air. Steve Howard grabs the win. Danny Palmer too close to claw for the 3rd place position. It was either the 27 or the number 6. Nice round of applause, please, for the winner of the 2nd qualifying heat in the Super Sportsman division, Steve Howard in the 03. All clear from the flag stand. Looking for a start, Libby and Babb. Green is out. Bobby Harrison gets turned about. Gets the car refired. We stay under green. Bobby Libby at the point. Bobby Babb working to his outside. Babb goes way high out of turn 4. Opening up the inside for a challenge from Andy Lude. Andy Lude on the move in the number 56. Lude grabbed his first feature event of the 91 season last weekend and did it in a very impressive way. Andy Lude setting his sights on race leader Bobby Libby now. Side-by-side battle for third finds Paul Johnson slipping beneath the number 4, taking over third place position. Bobby Babb back to 4th. Glenn Cusack is 5th. Bobby Libby goes a little wide. Andy Lude looked to the inside, couldn't quite fill the spot. Couple of hard charges at the front of this event. Bobby Libby goes a little wide again out of the turn, tucks it back down. Andy Lude continues to look for racing room beneath the 34 of Libby. Andy Lude looks to the outside now. Paul Johnson will fill the inside groove. Andy Lude trying to find a way to draw it even with Bobby Libby. Libby turning the track in about 15.6 seconds. Andy Lude once again brings it halfway up alongside. Now 3/4 of the way, side by side out of turn 4. Libby to the inside, Andy Lude to the outside. Dead heat across the line, down into turn 1. Side by side at turn 2, looking down the backstretch. Andy Lude with a bumper ahead at turn 3. Here comes Libby back on the inside. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Andy Lude with a fender ahead at the stripe. Here comes Bobby Libby up the inside. Lude with the advantage on the outside. Andy Lude, Bobby Libby, jockey for position. Andy Lude with the advantage out of turn 4. Andy Lude in the last lap grabs the second qualifying event. Nice round of applause for Andy Lude collecting the second qualifying heat of the evening in the late model sportsman division. Once again, this is the Limited Sportsman semi-feature, and all of these drivers are looking to primarily collect points and hopefully get enough points to be able to run in the qualifying events next week, and then an opportunity to run in the main event. Jim Diamond, Pat Pearson on the front line. Looking for a start at turn 4, we have green. Pearson from the outside with the advantage, tries to tuck it back down inside. Joe Green up the inside in the number 30 to take over second place. Galen Wilson up into third in the number 1. 47 on the move, that's Chris Grondin in the 47. Car's out of shape off the top of turn 4. Everyone is underway. We stay under green. Joe Green with a nice move right up the inside. Your new leader. Joe Green in the number 30. Then comes Pearson in the number 20. Grondin in the 47 trying to take over second place from the inside. Chris Grondin with the advantage. Then comes Danny Bubar in the 124. Pearson back to 4th. Earl Glidden Jr. up into 5th. Glidden in the number 76. And on the move in the number 9 as he works his way up into the top half dozen. Spin on the backstretch. Have a car backed up into the infield. Is completely off the track. Galen Wilson spins the number 1 off the top of turn number 4. Gets the car refired. Leader continues to be Joe Green in the number 30. A lot of pressure now from Danny Bubar in the 124. As the top 2 have put some distance on the rest of the pack. Chris Grondin in 3rd. And Grondin has all kinds of pressure. Have a correction on the driver in the 124. It's Tinker Dowdy. Tinker Dowdy in the 124 tonight, trying to mount a challenge to the outside of race leader Joe Green. Sparks pouring from beneath the 124. Can't tell what that's from, but a lot of sparks from beneath the 124. Tinker Dowdy at the wheel of the 124. Joe Green continues to show the way. The sparks continue to spray from beneath the 124. Tangle right here on the front stretch brings out the yellow. Paul Holstrom in the 48 locks bumpers with Chris Grondin. They finally get the car separated. Joe Green on the point in the number 30. To his outside, Tinker Dowdy in the 124. Green is out. Joe Green with the advantage at the stripe. Earl Glidden Jr. pressing for second place to the inside of Tinker Dowdy in the 124. The battle is for second. Number 3 gets spun about in the 2-turn, and that will bring out the caution once again. Cars back in a column of 2s, all clear from the flag stand. Ready to try it once again. It will be Joe Green and Tinker Dowdy on the front line. Green flag at turn 4. This time the advantage Dowdy from the outside. Joe Green fights back on the inside, takes the advantage back at turn 2. Glidden challenging up the inside. Earl Glidden now in the inside groove. Yellow flag flies. And we had a 3 abreast run for the front. But a caution flag once again. And they'll have to try it all over again. Ready to restart at turn 4. Green is out. Earl Glidden from the outside with the advantage. Joe Green fights back on the inside. They're even out of turn 2. Tangle on the backstretch. Pat Pearson in the number 20. Out against the wall. And that will put us under caution once again. All clear once again. And what I'm sure Joe Green is hoping will be the last restart. Green flag at turn 4. Earl Glidden with the advantage to the outside in the number 76. Joe Green fighting back on the inside. Phil Weber trying to mount a 3 abreast challenge, couldn't quite do it. Tinker Dowdy in the 124 looking for racing room. Joe Green, white flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Joe Green to the inside, Earl Glidden to the outside. Spin on the front stretch. The 105 of Glenn Reynolds back in the infield. We stay under Green. He decides to get the car back out. Checkered flag out, Earl Glidden at the stripe. They don't come a whole lot closer than that. Earl Glidden by a fender. With a strong spurt out of turn 4, just nipping the number 30 of Joe Green right at the wire. "15 laps on tap as flagman Eddie Walsh gives the all clear for the drivers as they glance over to the flag stand. 8 cars to qualify for the main event. Frank Collins and Larry Gelinas on the front line. Bring the field down, looking for a start at turn 4. Green is out. Larry Gelinas from the outside with a quick jump right to the point. Dave Fecto on the backstretch takes over the 2nd position. Danny Bubar up to 3rd. Frank Collins is 4th. Richard Olin 5th. Top 3 cars put some distance on the rest of the pack. Larry Gelinas, Dave Fecto, Danny Bubar by themselves out front. Richard Olin taking over 4th. Followed by Mike Field as they try to work their way out and around the 09 of Frank Collins. Darrell Ward. Spin and turn 2. Starting down the backstretch is the 54 of Rick Frenette, turned about, backs it into the infield. And a tough break for Rick Frenette as the cars put a lap on him. '09 is the last qualified car at the moment. Al Burset in the 23 trying to find a way around the '09 of Frank Collins. Remember, only 8 qualifying positions available. Al Burset in the 23, the last qualified car at the moment. Larry Gelinas continues to show the way, followed by Dave Fecto. Danny Bubar in the 24. The 54 is a lap down. Then in 4th place comes the 69 of Richard Olin, the 88 of Mike Field, the 64 of Rick Barrell, the 80 of Darrell Ward, and Al Burset in the number 23 will be the last qualified car for the main event. It will be just 2 laps to go. Larry Gelinas beginning to put some distance on Dave Fecteau now. 2 to go for race leader Gelinas, Dave Fecteau, Danny Bubar. And they have better than a straightaway lead on the 4th place competitor. Now a side-by-side battle. Richard Olin to the inside, Darrell Ward to the outside. As they battle for that 4th place position. White flag is in the air, 1 lap to go. The side-by-side battle continues for the 4th place position. Olin in the 69. Ward in the 80. Consolation event goes to Larry Gelinas. And the last qualifying position unofficially to the 23 tonight, driven by Al Burset. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to a brief intermission time. Chance to kind of get up and
Thank you, Bruce, and good evening, everybody. Tonight we're very fortunate to have with us a Winston Cup race car. And although Terry Labonte, who drives the car on the Winston Cup circuit, can't be here tonight because he had other plans today, and we'll talk about that in just a moment, one of his crew members is here with us today who has brought the car into town, and we'll talk a little bit more about why it's here tonight. But at this point, I would like you to give a nice, warm Maine welcome to a gentleman from High Point, North Carolina. Please welcome forward Mark Metcalf. Mark, good evening.
Hey, how you doing? Give me some of that southern talk.
We don't hear a whole lot of that around here. Tell us a little bit. This car has been in town, and it happened to work out just right. Jeff Waterman from Waterman Sunoco has secured the car for this weekend at his place, and happened to work out well. They're actually sponsoring tonight, too. But first of all, tell us a little bit, Mark, about what a type of program this is with the Sunoco car and going around to these type of shows.
Well, when Sun took us over as a sponsorship a couple of years ago, we were before we were the Piedmont Airlines team, which Terry was with us back then, and we won the championship in '84. And so Sun took us on as a sponsor, and because Piedmont was bought out by US Air, and they dropped their racing program. So anyway, we took us up, and they said we had to have a show car deal, and we didn't want to go all out to go with a promotional company, so we just did a little in-house deal. So they elected me being single, so out of 19 of our people, there's only 3 of us that are single, so I got stuck with it. So they put us out here. We go all over the country, and we take cars right out of our line. We have 12 of these automobiles, and so we take them right off our line. And this particular car here is our Rockingham car, which will be running the AC Delco race in October. So just take it around and show it and go home and pick up other cars and back and forth.
So these are actually race cars that you take around. I understand some teams have a show car, and Terry's team actually operates their functional Winston Cup cars.
Yes, we have, we don't have any kind of show car program. It takes a lot of money to run a program like that, and so there's several teams that have cars at show, and most of them are owned by the company that sponsors them, like Procter & Gamble that owns the Tide cars, stuff like that. And they have cars that are in different regions of the country, all over the country. But we're based out of North Carolina, and we have one car, and it goes everywhere. So anyway, that's the way we work.
Just an estimate, how many miles might you put on during the course of the year hauling around cars to different shows, because you do go all over the country?
Generally around 65 to 70,000 miles. I go coast to coast. I've been to California this year, and this is the first year I haven't gone to Canada. I usually go up to Canada once or twice. And but basically, Sun being a northeastern company, they're a private company now. It used to be public, and they were nationwide. Then we would have to have different cars for different areas. But being a northeastern company, we just come up. We cover about 13 states. So.
Well, here we sit tonight, June 29th. Terry Labonte, probably not really caring too much if he were at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway in Scarborough, Maine, because he had a pretty good day. Tell us about this.
Yeah, I tell you what, we've had a really bad year this year. It's just one problem after the next. We've lost some of our people. Terry coming on board. We just cannot get the click going. I don't know what it is. We've had a few problems inside. We've got them pretty much straightened out. We've hired some people, and but Terry went up today to Watkins Glen with his Bush car, which is a car he owns. He has his own team, Bush car. He has 4 cars that he runs under the Bush series. Him and his brother Bobby both, which Bobby's leading the points, and I don't know. I guess God was with us on this race because we sat on the pole and we led the whole race and won it. And I know they're just elated. I tell you, we need the morale. But the morale needs boosting at Hagen Enterprise, and I'm sure that's going to be a big plus for us. So we're hoping. We've had some people that's been consulting with us. The fact that the biggest problems we've had is we've got these new types of cars. They call them front steer cars, and there's several teams. The 3 car, the 4 car, several of the other teams. It's got like a 6-month advantage on us in technology, and so we're learning, and so we're on a learning binge, and so we're starting to get the bugs out. We qualified pretty good at Dover. We qualified 8th at Dover. We qualified 2nd at Sears Point. We finished 6th. We've had some few top 10s, but just not the caliber that we need to be. But we're working on it.
Well, we congratulate you and the team and Terry Labonte today for the win. We know it's been a long-awaited one, and it's nice to see Terry getting back in the swing of things. A lot of people probably think Mark Metcalf goes around with a Sunoco Oldsmobile number 94 and does a lot of PR work and talks at trackside at places like these, goes on radio shows. But is your background strictly promotional or public relations, or have you done other things with the team?
Yeah, I come from the go-kart and the Superbike series. I raced 500cc Superbikes back a long time ago in Florida and all, and then I spent 9 years in pro stock drag racing with Roy Hill. We were the budget rent-a-car pro stock, and after they went out for a little bit of troubles that we had, I went on with Billy Hagan, and I've been with him for 10 years, and started out being a gopher, and basically pretty much like a lot of these guys, I started out sweeping floors, and then I worked my way up into a sheet metal fabricator and a body shop man, and I've been there ever since. Until this program here came up with Sun, I pretty much stay on the road with this, but I'm involved with our Daytona car, and I do a lot of testing with the Daytona car. We go to Georgia every year to Lockheed Aircraft at the end of the year and do wind tunnel testing and track testing at Daytona in December and January, so I get involved with that pretty heavy.
Have you done other things actively at a racetrack? Have you worked on the crew, gas, or anything else?
Oh, yeah, I gassed this car for 5 years. I've done everything on that race car except for jacking it and changing tires, and I feel like I'm not fast enough for that. But I've always liked this gas detail, and I worked my way up from a pit board man, from a water boy to a gas hauler to a windshield man to a pit board. From the pit board, I moved up to a catch can man, and eventually I went to the gas man. And then I've been there for 5 years, and then there's a few races I get to work at now, but pretty much they keep me on the road doing this.
So you've been there then in the pit area, over the wall as they call it, servicing the cars and kind of in the hot seat. And there have been some changes made this year in NASCAR to slow some of the traffic down, coming in with some injuries that have happened over the past few years. How do you feel about that? What's it like from a crew member's perspective working out there?
Well, you know, we all, every time they have an accident, our rates go up. We are always hitting up the front office for a raise whenever these big accidents come along because of liability and all. But the pit rules, which in the beginning of the year were so confusing, not only for the fans, which is the main part of this sport, but the scoring, the crews. I mean, we were all like had our hands in the air, and so they started losing a lot of attendance at the racetrack. So they had to get together, and so they brought it back down. Pretty much the 56-mile-an-hour pit rule is an excellent rule. There's nothing wrong with that. It slows these cars down. It gives them a little chance to get these cars into position to get into their pits, because the pits are so tight. And in getting these cars, when they get out of shape on pit road, they got a new rule for that. If they get out of shape out of a 90 degree, it'll cost you 5 laps. So mentally, that makes the men say, hey, I've got to slow this car down. So, but when the pace car carries them through pit road on the beginning of the race, which is what, you know, people don't understand, They look at their tachometer to check out their RPMs to see how fast they're going at 56 miles an hour, and that's how they're supposed to come in. And they have radar guns to check that. But there's a few cars out there that kind of sometimes gets away with it, but pretty much they keep it the same.
We understand you talk about braking in the pit area, and it seems that Terry Labonte's crew and yourself have been involved in developing quite an innovative thing in race cars that's maybe not so new or current years in our road cars. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we were very fortunate. In the beginning of the year, Delco, GM and Delco Marine in Dayton, Ohio, which is the anti-lock brake division of GM, approached us about trying to develop an anti-lock brake system for these race cars to kind of offset this problem with these cars locking up and braking. So we took one of our cars, our Richmond car, up there and left it for a couple of weeks, and they developed a brake system for it, and flew up there and did a brake test with them at an airport. And I tell you what, I really think that's the reason why we finished as good as we did at Sears Point, because we did have them brake systems on that car. And I think that's, and I'm pretty sure that's the system we had on this car at Watkins Glen today is the reason why we could run away the way we did. I'm just very fortunate, and all the boys there at Delco, they've really put their heart into it, and they're going to make this thing go. And if it is, we can be thankful that we'll be the first race car out there with that system on it. And we'll have maybe the advantage that some teams got on us with this front steer car. We'll have them on the braking.
Well, it seems to be working out well, and we commend you and your team for stepping forward to try to make some improvements there. So you've been at Waterman Sunoco today, and where do you head here from now? It's time to pack up and hit the road again. What's the schedule look like down the road?
Yeah, I got to run tomorrow. I got to run down to New Jersey for about a week, and then go down to Baltimore, Maryland area, and then go to Alexandria, Virginia, and then turn around and come back to the Poconos for the July 21st race. And, you know, I really like to thank Jeff for having me up here. They're really super people. I mean, the boys are real good people, and I thank them for everything they've done for me. And it's nice to be around. I'll tell you what, you got a beautiful racetrack, and I don't think I've told everybody here that, and I really mean it. It's really a nice place, and you're back here in the woods, and it's really an excellent racetrack. Excellent, very, very well planned and made up and landscaped and everything. Really, really nice.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate hearing that. We appreciate you being with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please give a nice warm thank you from the Sunoco Oldsmobile, Mr. Mark Metcalf. Good luck to Terry Labonte and you, Mark.
Very much. Thank you. Thanks, fans, for coming out.
We have the all clear from the officials. The drivers are ready. Drivers, good luck to you all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those 4 most famous words in auto racing on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Gentlemen, start your engines. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as they exit turn 4 and head down the front stretch, let's give them a nice Beech Ridge Motor Speedway send-off. Wave your hat, your hand, light your lighter if you have one. Let these drivers know that you send them off with your best wishes for a safe race. Front row occupied by second-generation racer Bobby Cotton in the number 17. Veteran limited sportsman campaigner Dave Sprague on his outside. All clear from flagman Eddie Walsh as the drivers glance to the flag stand one last time. Looking for a start at turn 4. False start indicated as the cars were uneven coming out of turn 4. Flagman Eddie Walsh will even them up once again. remind that front row that they are to be wheel to wheel at turn 4. Indicating to the front row, one more chance, and then they will be relegated to the back of the pack. All clear once again from flagman Eddie Walsh as he points to turn 4. Bobby Cotton, Dave Sprague will bring him down. Even into turn 4. Green is out. Side by side, Cotton to the inside, Sprague to the outside. Out of turn 2 on the backstretch, still even. Advantage Cotton to the inside. Out of turn 4, bringing him down to lap 1. Bobby Cotton holds the point. Russ Johnson looking for racing room beneath the number 1 of Sprague. Side by side battle for second. Russ Johnson to the inside, Dave Sprague to the outside. Side by side battle right straight back through the pack. Tim Maloney and Doug Shores going at it wheel to wheel. Rookie Bobby Cotton in the 17 has the point to himself. Russ Johnson, another youngster in the 19, has the second position to himself. Then the side-by-side battle from third on back. Dave Sprague being shuffled back on the outside as that inside groove has filled. Also in the outside groove is Dave Bath, Danny Palmer, Ken McLeod. Top 4 cars trying to break away from the rest of the back. Spin out of turn 4 as a wheel evidently breaks loose on the number 17. Right rear wheel off the 17 of Bobby Cotton. And a tough break for the youngster. Without a major pileup, and the field will come under caution. Point from all current to drive the car tonight. Perhaps the Wednesday night. He's going to just see how things go. Kind of tough. Kind of taking over the point lead and then have to sit out. Second place. The point standings, Kevin Durkin. Third place, Ken McLeod. Between Dave Sprague, Russ Johnson, and Doug Shores. Then Dave Bath is 9th, and Tim Maloney is 10th for a look at the top 10 in the Super Sportsman division coming into this weekend's race meet. Track is clear. The lineup is back into a column of 2s. All clear once again from flagman Eddie Walsh atop the flag stand. This time, Russ Johnson on the point in the number 19. Tim Maloney to his outside in the 69. At turn 4, green is out. Russ Johnson from the inside with the advantage. Stevie Howard up the inside to challenge Maloney for second. Maloney slips just a little bit. Second now to the 03 of Steve Howard. Maloney manages to get the car back down to the inside before Mark LeBlanc was ready to take over that third spot. Inside groove on the move. Doug Shores and Dave Sprague kind of hung on that outside groove. Now Steve Howard looks to the outside. That opens up the inside for Maloney in the 69. Side-by-side battle for second now. Tim Maloney to the inside. Steve Howard to the outside. Advantage to Maloney that time in the 69 as he held that second place. Now he'll put the pressure to the back of the number 19 of Russ Johnson. Tim Maloney, already a feature winner here in the Super Sportsman division. Kevin Durgan looking for racing room on the outside. Former limited sportsman champion Kevin Durgan in the number 7. Scott Mulkern in the outside row looking to advance also. But keep your eyes on the number 7. Kevin Durgan has yet to collect a feature event in this new Super Sportsman division. Talked to Kevin tonight and I said, you must be due, aren't you? He said, I'm overdue. And keep your eyes on the number 7. Kevin Durgan on the move. Now to the outside of second place competitor Tim Maloney. Maloney gets the car a little squirrely, straightens it back out. Side-by-side battle continues down into turn 3. Kevin Durgan to the outside, Tim Maloney to the inside. Steve Howard and Scott Mulkern continue to battle on the outside, trying to find a way around that whole line. Three wide racing on the backstretch as Scott Mulkern goes between cars. A daring move by the number 14, and he made it work. Along with Kent McLeod as they squeeze by the 03 of Steve Howard in a 3 wide. Up front, side-by-side battle now. Russ Johnson has Kevin Durgan, and Durgan has put a fender ahead. Out of 2 turn down the backstretch, Kevin Durgan trying to squeeze the car by on the outside, and he does. Up on the outside, Kevin Durgan working lap number 17. Has taken over the point, and Scott Mulkern is trying to follow suit on the outside. Mulkern now working his way to the outside of Russ Johnson. Mulkern makes a smooth move around the Johnson number 19. Dave Bath now on the move in the number 5. Dave Bath trying to find a path around the Tim Maloney number 69. Almost a 3 abreast entry into turn 1, but Bubba Pelton backed out of it as he didn't have quite room enough beneath the 69. Now we'll set to the outside of Tim Maloney and try to follow Dave Bath in that outside groove. Meanwhile, up front, Scott Mulkern mounting a challenge to the outside of Kevin Durgan, side by side at turn 4. Durgan with a wheel ahead at the start-finish line, side by side down into turn 1 to turn 2. Durgan to the inside, Mulkern to the outside. Wheel-to-wheel battle out of turn 4. Working in lap number 23, side-by-side battle for the lead continues. Kevin Durgan to the inside, Scott Mulkern to the outside. Back in third place, Dave Bath works the number 5 out and around the 19 of Russ Johnson, brings Bubba Pelton along with him. They are at the halfway point. Working around the lap car now, the number 11 of Tony Field, both Kevin Durgan and Scott Mulkern. Move by, tangle off turn 4. Maloney gets way out of shape, has to back out of it, and that drop kicks him back to the back of the pack. Kevin Durgan, all kinds of pressure from Scott Mulkern as the 1 and 2 place cars have put considerable distance on the number 5 of Dave Bath. Bath has a lot of pressure now from Pelton in the 27 and Danny Palmer in the 93. Bubba Pelton looking for racing room beneath the number 5, trying to squeeze beneath Dave Bath, and he does. Draws it even, working in the beginning of lap number 30. Side-by-side battle for that 3rd place position, and they have come on to Tony Field now. Field right down on the rail, takes the car right into the speed bumps. A good bit of sportsmanship by Tony Field in the number 11. As he saw the side-by-side battle and slid to the inside to give Dave Bath and Bubba Pelton enough room. Meanwhile, up front, the side-by-side battle being waged again. Kevin Durgan and Scott Mulkern. Mulkern with the advantage from the outside. Scott Mulkern puts a fender ahead, half the car ahead at the start-finish line. Kevin Durgan trying to fight back from the inside. New leader working in lap number 32. Scott Mulkern behind the wheel of the number 14. Works his way out and around Kevin Durgan. Yellow flag flies, spin out of turn 4. Have a car off over the top of turn number 1, and I believe that was the reason for the caution, as the caution was in the air before these cars spun coming out of turn 4. Alignment, air conditioning repair, brake service, just about any type of service you could possibly need. Ready to restart once again, all clear from the flag stand. This time, green is out. Scott Mulkern from the inside. With the advantage, Kevin Durgan trying to work himself back out to mount a challenge to the number 14. Bubba Pelton up into 3rd place in the number 27, side-by-side battle for 4th. Ken McLeod takes over 4th. Then the battle is for 5th. Danny Palmer to the inside, Dave Bath to the outside. Strong run by the number 14 tonight at the wheel, Scott Mulkern. Kevin Durgan now with a lot of pressure from Bubba Pelton in the number 27. Ken McLeod is up to 6. And it looks like he doesn't want to stop his progress there. Ken McLeod looks to the outside of the 27, then tucks it right back in again. Ken McLeod in the number 6. 3 feature wins to his credit. Bubba Pelton dives to the inside of Kevin Durgan. Wasn't quite room, and he had to back out of it. Ken McLeod now looks to the outside of the 27 once again. Tight battle. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place positions. As Ken McLeod continues to look for a way around the 27 of Pelton. Pelton continues to look for a way by the number 7 of Durgan. Back in the pack, Dave Bath once again trying to find a way out and around the 03 of Steve Howard. Then to set his sights on the number 1 of Dave Sprague. Dave Beth continues to work the outside groove, now trying to draw it even with Dave Sprague in the number 1. Side by side on the backstretch. Advantage at turn 3 to Dave Bath in the number 5. Meanwhile, back up front, Ken McLeod draws it even with the number 27 of Bubba Pelton. Laps winding down. They're working in lap number 44. Rather comfortable lead for Scott Mulkern. Then comes Kevin Durgan, and Durgan has a mirror full of Ken McLeod and Bubba Pelton as they wage a side-by-side battle for third. Five laps to go. Ken McLeod continues to work to the outside of Pelton in the 27. Passing flag out to the 08 of Mark LeBlanc. Advantage at the stripe in that third place battle to Ken McLeod. Pelton fights right back on the inside, and they are wheel to wheel once again. Fire on the back of the 93 of Danny Palmer as he goes out over the top of turn 4. Red flag comes out. Something going amiss on the 93 of Danny Palmer brings the red flag out in order for the fire crew and safety crew to assist the 93 of Danny Palmer. Indications are that Danny Palmer is out of the car. Safety crew said that they feel he is okay. We'll give you further reports as we have them, but the report is that Danny Palmer is out of his car, and the safety crew indicates they feel that he is okay. To the finish line. So gone is that rather comfortable lead held by Scott Mulkern, and he's got to go at it once again. Wheel-to-wheel start with a veteran on his outside, Kevin Durgan in the number 7. Pace car will make its way onto the infield pit road. Flagman Eddie Walsh says hold it even. Points to turn 4, said pick it up just a little bit. Green is out. Scott Mulkern with the advantage from the inside. Here comes Durgan with a bid to the outside. Ken McLeod right on the bumper of the number 14. Ken McLeod trying to find racing room. 2 to go from the flag stand. Ken McLeod squeezes into second place. Now looks to make a bid, a challenge to the 14 of Scott Mulkern. White flag in the air, 1 to go. Ken McLeod takes a look to the outside, tucks right back to the inside. Bubba Pelton up to third as that second row has advanced a position. Ken McLeod dives to the inside, checkered flag in the air. Scott Mulkern, Ken McLeod, Bubba Pelton, Kevin Durgan, and Dave Bath. Outstanding super sportsman feature event. And a fine run by Scott Mulkern, former late model sportsman competitor. And of course, before that, an outstanding limited sportsman driver here at the Speedway, filling in for the injured Chris Rule and doing it in style. Collects the colors from Flagman Eddie Walsh, ready to make his parade lap. We'll have a chance to hear from tonight's Super Sportsman feature winner, Scott Mulkern. Filling in the Waddy Hamilton-owned 1990 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra, sponsored in part by Griffin Motorsports, Garrett Service and Tri-Sports, B&G Speed. And an outstanding run. Scott Mulkern returns the colors to Flagman Eddie Walsh, prepares to exit the number 14. We will prepare to go trackside. Just an outstanding run also by Ken McLeod in the number 6, Richard Bubba Pelton in the 27, and of course Kevin Durgan in the number 7.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his first appearance in the Super Sportsman division, welcome into Victory Lane, Scott Mulkern. Scott, congratulations. You must be some happy tonight.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. I got to thank Chris for giving me the opportunity to drive for him. He's a little sore. He may try it Wednesday night, or I may be back in it again Wednesday night till he heals up.
Well, what were the instructions from the pit area if you to go out here? Was it go out, get the win if you can, go out, take it easy, save the car for me? What was the story?
He really didn't say anything. He just, you know, they're great guys. He's got a great crew, and I guess he's got some faith in me. So we just, we had some problem in practice, and I never really got a good lap in practice. And we didn't change the car a bit. It's the way, you know, it's the way he's got it set up. Good.
Well, how do you like the cars? You're a former limited sportsman champion, have been driving some late model sportsmen this year. Your first trip in there, how do you like it?
I love it. You gotta love it when you're in Victory Lane.
I'd like to introduce you to Mark Metcalf from the Sunoco team and from Waterman Sunoco.
There's your hat. Gotta have the hat. From Jeff Waterman and his Sunoco station, the fine folks at Sun, and guess a little congratulations to Billy Hagan too, racing team. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a nice round of applause for Scott Mulkern. Time for our 50-50 drawing, so those of you with...
Next to the inside, a former champion, the number 33, Mike Johnson. To his outside, last week's feature winner out of Biddeford, Maine, Andy Lude in the 56. Next to the inside, the rookie. In the number 3, Mike Mayetta Jr. To his outside, in the number 71, Randy Sanborn. Next, a rookie in the number 31, Casey Nash. 35 laps on tap, all clear from flagman Eddie Walsh. Pace car makes its way onto the infield pit road. Land and Bowser on the front row. Green is up. Side by side into turn 1. Land to the inside. Joe Bowser to the outside. Bowser with the advantage on the backstretch. Also on the move, Bobby Libby in the number 34, along with Harrison in the 37. Joe Bowser with a burst of speed jumps right out to a 6 or 7 to 8 car length lead. Tim Land hanging on a second. Then the battle shaping up for third. Kerry Winslow, Bobby Harrison, Bobby Libby. Libby way wide, opens up the inside for Harrison. Bobby Harrison, a former champion here in the late model division, is on the move. Keep your eyes on the number 37. Bobby Harrison up into second place now as he works his way around the 16 of Tim Land. Bobby Libby trying on the outside of Kerry Winslow. Bobby Libby continues to work that outside groove. Bobby Babb also in the outside groove along with Paul Johnson. Andy Lude has moved to the outside groove. Bobby Libby now to challenge for third, looks to the outside of Tim Land. Side battle from third place on back. Bobby Libby gets squirrely out of turn 4, has to back out of it. He's back out in that third groove once again. Meanwhile, up front, Joe Bowser has a strong challenge from Bobby Harrison. Bowser to the inside. Harrison right at his back bumper now. Bumper to bumper at the front. Joe Bowser in the 32, Bobby Harrison in the 37. Tim Land continues to hold the third place position. Kerry Winslow and Paul Johnson battle for fourth. Bowser to the tangle in turn 4, brings out the caution. Cars off over the top of turn 4. Fire on one of the cars. Fuel in the exhaust would be our guess, as it was blown right out. Several of the strong competitors involved in a tangle there in the turn 4 area brings out the caution flag, as we have 9 laps recorded. Nine laps down. Pace car makes its way onto the infield pit road. Joe Bowser and Bobby Harrison pick up the pace at turn 3, looking to turn 4. Green is out. Bowser from the inside. Bobby Harrison now trying to mount a challenge to the outside. Harrison looks outside, tries to draw it even between turns 3 and 4, out of turn 4. Across the stripes, still Bowser with a half car length lead. Bobby Harrison continues to try to draw it even. Problem on the 0 of Barry Babb as he is off the pace. Does not take the car on pit road. Mike Johnson over the top of turn 4. Problem on the number 33. Meanwhile, up front, the side-by-side battle continues. Harrison with the advantage at turn 3. Bobby Babb problems on the number 4 as he appears to head for pit road. Working in lap number 13, Bobby Harrison, the new leader. Harrison has been very quick the last few weeks. We'll get a watch on the 37, see when he's turning for time. Meanwhile, Paul Johnson on the move as he works to the outside of Kerry Winslow in the 22. The 35 on the move, working his way up into 3rd position. Bobby Harrison down around the 15.4 mark. Very, very quick time in the 37 as he has worked himself out to a fairly comfortable lead over Joe Bowser. Then comes Paul Johnson, Kerry Winslow, and Andy Lew for the top 5. Mike Mayetta has worked his way up into 6th place position. But so far, the class of the field tonight is the 37 and Bobby Harrison. Harrison continues to blister the track. 15.40 seconds. Very, very quick time here in a late model Sportsman. Going to be very hard for anyone to overhaul this number 37 tonight. Andy Lew now making the move to the outside of Kerry Winslow. Side-by-side battle for that 4th place position. Halfway point. Mike Mayetta slows on the backstretch. Problem on the number 13. Possibly a spindle or something. It looks like a tremendous amount of heat coming from the right front of the number 13. And he heads on to pit road. Tough break for Mike Mayetta. He appeared to really be on a roll. Problems also on the number 91 as he has had to retire to the pit area. So drivers occupying the 1 and 2 positions in points and both taking their cars onto pit road. Bobby Harrison continues to blister the track and continues to stretch out his lead. The battle is for second now, and it's a 3-way battle. Andy Lew working to the outside of Joe Bowser. Bobby Randall out of the pit in front of those 3 cars, and that shakes things around a little bit, but the drivers do a nice job of handling that. Joe Bowser continues to be in 2nd place. Side-by-side battle for 3rd, Paul Johnson and Andy Lew. Andy Lew now back with another bid to the outside of Joe Bowser for that 2nd place position. Andy Lew securing 2nd place out of turn 4. Paul Johnson will try to follow suit on the outside as he now makes a bid to the outside of Joe Bowser. Bobby Harrison with more than a straightaway lead over the second place competitor Andy Liu. Then the side-by-side battle for third. Joe Bowser to the inside, Paul Johnson to the outside. Joe Bowser and Paul Johnson continue their side-by-side battle. Five laps to go. 30 down and 5 to go for Bobby Harrison as he continues to blister the track at less than a 15.5-second clip. Holds more than a straightaway lead over the second place competitor Andy Liu. Then comes Paul Johnson, who finally was able to shake himself loose of that side-by-side battle with Joe Bowser. Bowser, your fourth place competitor. Then Kerry Winslow in the 22 is the fifth place driver. Flagman Eddie Walsh indicates it will be just 2 to go for Bobby Harrison as he exits turn 4. Looks to the front stretch, 2 to go. Impressive run by Bobby Harrison tonight in the 37. White flag in the air. Harrison with better than a 5-second interval over the second place car. We'll see the checkered flag fly as he exits turn 4. First feature win in 1991 to Bobby Harrison. In second place Andy Liu, third to Paul Johnson. Fourth place Joe Bowser, and fifth place Kerry Winslow in the number 22. So Bobby Harrison collects his first 1991 late model sportsman feature event in style. Better than a 5-second interval over the second place car. Bobby Harrison comes down to collect the colors from Flagman Eddie Walsh. Will make his parade lap and be back in victory lane. We'll have an opportunity to hear from tonight's late model sportsman feature event winner, Bobby Harrison. Paul Johnson in third place, collecting his third place trophy. Bobby Harrison returns the colors to Flagman Eddie Walsh. Will prepare to exit his main linoleum. Miller sponsored late model sportsman. Let's go trackside now to Andy Cusack. Andy?
Thanks, Bruce. And welcome forward Bob Harrison. Bob, congratulations.
Thank you, Andy. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been here in Victory Lane.
The car looked to be going extremely well tonight. A bit of a new team for you. Tell us what's going on.
Well, Mark Metcalf Motorsports owns the team now. This is really the first full season, brand new car, so Donnie Latat chassis. And it's going great. I'll tell you, I've never had a better handling car. If I can finish and get some luck like I did tonight, we'll be there.
You know, this probably wasn't the best night for you to win because Waterman's car, who's sponsoring tonight, was out front looking like they might have been going to pull off their first win of the year. Now, Wednesday night, see, Miller Beer stops at the racetrack to sponsor, and of course that is your sponsor. And where are you going to start? Dead last and have to come up through. Are you going to be able to do it in 50 laps?
Gonna make a hell of a try.
Well, we bet you will. We'd like to introduce you to Mark Metcalf, representing Waterman's Sunoco tonight.
Buddy. Congratulations there, Bob, from fine folks at Waterman's Sunoco. There's your first place. May there be many more. Don't forget their complimentary hat. And thanks for good. Great race. Great race.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a nice round of applause for Bob Harrison. Bruce Elder, back to you.
Thank you, Andy. Waiting on deck are the Limited Sportsmen for their 50-lap feature event driven by Gary Clough. Next to the inside, the number 25 driven by Kevin Buck, and the number 73 will be driven by Jimmy Emerson. Number 21 tonight, Kevin Gelinas to his outside will be the 68 of Chuck Haynes. Gordon Nelson in the 61, Dennis Hall in the 94. Gary Adams in the 74. Mike Field in the 88, Jeff Morgan in the number 70, Darrell Ward in number 80, Pee Wee Knight in the 111, Larry Gelinas in the 37, Viva Norton in 38, Dave Fecto in the 78. Green is out. Alan Burraby shows the way in the number 50, followed by Phil Fournette in the 66. Then comes Al Meserve in the 112, Robert Bodwell in the 56, and Steve Reno rounds out the top 5 in number 7. High Point men at the back of the pack. Challenge to work their way up through the pack, and of course they have a few more laps to do it tonight. 50 laps for these Limited Sportsman drivers. Alan Burraby at the point. Phil Fournette, Al Meserve, then side by side now. Steve Reno to the inside, Robert Bodwell to the outside, as they battle for the 4th place position. Cars tangle in turn 1. Get them straightened out. Do a nice job of keeping everything straight. Steve Reno and Bodwell continue side by side. Mike Field gets it turned about. He stays underway. We stay under green. Side by side battle now for 3rd. Finds Steve Reno to the inside of the number 12 of Al Meserve. Reno takes over 3rd, dropping Meserve back to 4th. Paul Ross now in 5th place position. Fine run tonight by Alan Burraby in the number 50. As he has been able to work himself out to about a 6 or 7 car length lead now over Phil Fournette in the 66. Steve Reno is 3rd. 4th place, Paul Ross in the 138. Al Meserve trying it to the outside once again now to mount a challenge for that 4th place position. Side-by-side battle continues for the 4th place position. Meserve gets it sideways, way up high. That drop kicks him back 3/4 of the way back in the pack as he got a little too high. now working to the outside of the number 7 of Steve Reno. Thompson challenging for third, looking to challenge for second now as he looks to the outside of Phil Fournette. On the move, the number 6, Billy Thompson, takes over second place at turn 1. Will now set his sights on race leader Alan Burraby in the number 50. Caution flag flies. 13 laps on the board, and the field comes under caution. Word from the officials is that there was a bumper sitting up in turn 3, so that was the reason for the caution flag. Bumper laying up in turn 3, and that brings the cars under caution up in turn 3, and that brings the cars under caution. 13 laps recorded on the board. It's certainly welcome your involvement if you're a business owner or manager. Right now, with 13 laps down, all clear from flagman Eddie Walsh as the drivers glance back to the flag stand, ready for a start. Alan Burraby and Billy Thompson bring him down to turn 4. Green is out. Alan Burraby with a quick jump off turn 4. Billy Thompson now in a battle with Phil Fournette for second. Thompson with the advantage on the backstretch, trying to secure that second place position by himself once again as he works to the outside of the 66. 66 gets out of shape just a little. Spin by Ross in the 138. That scatters cars in turn 1. Drivers do a nice job of avoiding the 138, but not without getting a couple of them turned about, and that puts the field under caution once again. Flagman Eddie Walsh indicates all clear as the drivers work the backstretch. And once again, we are ready to look for a start at turn 4. Alan Burraby, Billy Thompson. Green flag. Side by side at turn 1. Burraby to the inside, Thompson to the outside. They work the backstretch side by side. Advantage at turn 3. Billy Thompson from the outside. Out of turn 4, side by side. Advantage on the inside to Burraby. Wheel-to-wheel battle. Alan Burraby to the inside. Billy Thompson Jr. to the outside. Thompson with a slight advantage out of turn 4 and across the stripe. Billy Thompson, the new leader. Working in lap number 16. Billy Thompson takes over the point. Cars jockeying for position back in the pack. Al Versett filling in the number 23 had worked his way up to knock on the door of the top 5, only to get hung on the outside in a 3-wide battle, and now must try to work his way back up again. Black flag going out, I believe, to the number 21. Tangle in turn 4 brings out the caution flag. The 61 of Gordon Nelson was the car that spun there in the 4-turn, bringing out the caution flag. Black flag, I believe, was to the number 21. "17 laps down, all clear from the flag stand. Pace car makes its way onto the infield pit road. Billy Thompson now on the point, looking for a start at turn 4. Green is out. Billy Thompson from the inside with the advantage as they race to turn 1. Steve Reno has closed it up. Sparks pour from the 24 of Danny Bubar. Have to keep an eye on that, as it's hard to tell just what it could be. Tangle in turn 4 as the 94 of Dennis Hall and the 73 of Emerson come together. They both stay underway, but now sparks pour from the 73 along with the sparks that continue to pour from the number 24 of Danny Bubar. Billy Thompson in command. Black flag being shown to the number 24 of Danny Bubar. 3 abreast racing now into turn 3. Alan Burraby, Steve Reno, and Chuck Haynes. Chuck Haynes from the outside now taking over the second place position as he works his way around the 50 of Alan Burraby. Pee Wee Knight on the move in the 111. Black flag continues to fly for the number 24 of Danny Bubar. Obviously very difficult for a driver in a pack of cars like that to tell who the black flag is for. Billy Thompson with an impressive run here. About a half straightaway lead over Chuck Haynes in second. Alan Burraby is third. Pee Wee Knight up to fourth. Larry Gelinas is fifth. Working to the outside of Larry Gelinas, trying to make a bid now to the outside of the number 50. At the halfway point, 25 laps down, 25 to go. Billy Thompson in command in the number 6. Chuck Haynes second, side-by-side battle for third now. Alan Burraby to the inside, Pee Wee Knight to the outside. Larry Gelinas now on the move in the number 37 as he works to the outside of the number 50 of Alan Burraby. Pee Wee Knight looks to mount a challenge for the second position now as he looks to the outside of the 68 of Chuck Haynes. Haynes to the inside, Knight to the outside. Race is for second. The 68 of Chuck Haynes, the 111 of Pee Wee Knight. At turn 3, Knight puts a fender ahead. Larry Gelinas looks for racing room on the inside, couldn't quite find it. Knight works his way now to the outside once again of the 68. On the backstretch, Knight takes over second place. But he finds himself nearly a full straightaway behind race leader Billy Thompson. And without a restart, that's an awful lot of ground to make up. Working in lap number 31. Tim Gendron working to the outside of Steve Reno now, trying to advance a position. Pee Wee Knight continues to trail race leader Billy Thompson by nearly a full straightaway. Thompson entering turn 3 as Knight exits turn 2. On the front stretch, Thompson enters turn 1. Knight exits turn 4. So a full straightaway separates the race leader from the second place competitor. Billy Thompson is going to find himself in some heavy traffic here in a few more laps. And that will probably give Knight the opportunity to close the gap. Interval right now between race leader Billy Thompson and the second place competitor Pee Wee Knight is a little over 4 seconds. We'll kind of keep track of that and just see how much Knight is able to close in on Thompson. Gap continues at a little over 4 seconds. Thompson now with a lot of lap traffic to work his way around, has a string of about 5 cars that he'll have to work to the outside of. Thompson continues to maintain his 4-second advantage over second place competitor Pee Wee Knight. That time Knight cut into that by about a half second. But of course Knight is going to have to deal with the lap traffic that Thompson has been dealing with these last few laps. And that could of course interfere with the progress. About a 3.5 second lead for Billy Thompson over Pee Wee Knight. It will be just 5 to go next time around. Out a restart. Possible for Knight to mount a challenge to race leader Billy Thompson. I'm sure Thompson is hoping that there will be no restart, and conversely Pee Wee Knight is hoping that there will be. Fine run by Billy Thompson in the number 6. Looking to claim his first feature event of the 1991 season. It will be just 2 laps to go next time around. Has cut a spin on the backstretch out of turn 2. Jimmy Emerson is collected up by the 61, and that will put the field under caution as Gordon Nelson collided with the 73 of Jimmy Emerson that had spun coming out of turn 2 starting down the backstretch. Top break on the Billy Thompson number 6. The report is that the transmission has blown in the number 6. All clear from the flag stand. Pace car makes its way onto the infield pit road. Looking for a start at turn 4. Green is out. Pee-wee Knight from the pole jumps right into a quick lead. Jeff Morgan trying to take over second, dives to the inside of Chuck Haynes. Beaver Norton on the move now, trying to take over third. They will see the white flag fly as they exit turn 4. 1 lap to go. Pee-wee Knight at the point. Jeff Morgan is second. Beaver Norton third. Larry Gelinas is fourth. Checkered flag in the air for Pee-wee Knight, collecting the main event, followed by Jeff Morgan. Pee-wee Knight, Beaver Norton, Larry Gelinas, Pee-wee Knight returns the colors to flagman Eddie Walsh. Veteran racer out of Standish, Maine, driving the Neil Marine-owned Chevrolet Camaro, sponsored by Northeastern General Contractors, along with Mainly Heating, Standish Towing. Pee-wee Knight captures his first main event of the 1991 season.
Congratulations, you're all smiles tonight.
Well, it's about time. Change of luck. I'm telling you, it feels great.
You had to be saying to yourself with this accident here that Billy Thompson has the lead and you got about 5 lap cars ahead of you with 2 laps to go and there was nothing going to come true. And when did you realize that suddenly you were going to have the lead?
Well, I see Billy stopped over on the backstretch there and I'm thinking to myself, why would he stop there? You know, he's in a lead, he really would keep up the pace. And I went by, I smelled something. It smelled maybe a little bit like a rear end or something. And I'm thinking to myself, is Lady Luck smiling tonight? Boy, it felt great. I kind of feel sorry for Billy, though. He'd done a great job to stay up there, you know, but I know how he feels. My luck lately hasn't been the best, but tonight it's changed.
Sure has. We congratulate you, and we know it's been a long time coming. You've done a fine job tonight. Mark Metcalf from the Sunoco representation and from Waterman Sunoco.
Congratulations there, boy. You won that one. Lady Luck was on your side, so from Jeff and all them at Waterman's, we appreciate it. Good luck. Congratulations. Congratulations. Your hat, complimentary hat. And congratulations on a come from behind win there. You know, but that's the way luck is. I know how that feels.
Thank you, thank you. That's certainly the way it is in this limited class, everybody being so competitive. When you start way back at the tail end like that, it certainly takes Lady Luck to get up through. I'd like to thank all the people that have helped me with the car. My father-in-law and mother-in-law are great sponsors of the car. Without their help, I'd never be able to do anything. It's Neil and Beverly Marian. And without the help of my wife and little boy, you know, their family support means everything. When I spend 5 or 6 nights a week in the garage, you know, they don't see me except for a few minutes, and boy, it sure feels great to bring it all home to them.
We know they're glad to see you in this position tonight. We congratulate you on it. We hope that Lady Luck rides with you the rest of the year.
Thank you, Andy. We need it.
Ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause again. Win number 1 for Pee-wee Knight. Bruce Elder.
Okay, we're ready for Wildcat Team B. 84, Chuck Willoughby. 85, Christopher Warming. 88, Ron Harriman. 90, Troy Graffel. 91, Scott Dumont. 96, Lincoln Kimball. 98, Timothy Kimball. 99, Cliff Leach. 007, Mark Nevers. 132, Mark Adams. 121, Stephen Waterhouse. Green at turn 4. 28, 26 in the lead. That is Mike Nest. Tangle between turns 3 and 4. Yellow flag as we have a pileup entering turn 4. Flag out of turn 4 once again. The 26 jumps out into a quick lead. That is Mike Nest in the 26, followed by the 91, driven by Scott Dumont. They try to put some distance on the rest of the pack. 33, a tangle in turn 3. Cars gets turned about. Everyone stays under power. Stay under green. Continues to be Mike Nest in the lead in the number 26 and Dumont in the number 91. Officially in third, then comes the 33. Dick Picard or Dick Maddox, I'm not sure which, in the car tonight. Tangle on the backstretch out of turn 2. Caution on the field once again as we have a car coming out of turn 2, sitting on the lower edge of the track. Unable to refire the car. Also a car sitting up at the top of turn 1. Green flag on the backstretch as the cars race to turn 3. Mike Nest right back on the point. And he's followed by the number 91, driven by Scott Dumont. Dumont makes a bid to the inside. Here comes the 63 to the outside. That's Steve Clough in the 63. Nest continues to hold the point. Mike Nest, way to the outside. That opens up the inside for the number 91 of Dumont. Dumont takes over the point, but he has a strong challenge from the outside, but the caution flag flies once again. Caution on the field once again. You are welcome to stay around for a bit, and we hope you choose to do so. Green is out. From the inside, the number 63 working to the point, Steve Clough, followed by Mike Nest. Then comes the 91 of Scott Dumont and the number 4 of Michael Westcott. Guy taking a shortcut there across the infield. He finally got on the infield pit road. Tangle right here in the front stretch. The 33 gets turned about, along with the number 4 as he shoots back across the track. And we have a tangle and a caution, but the caution and the yellow flies as the cars work the last lap of tonight's B feature event. Officials waiting to bring the 63 back around to victory lane. Steve Clough, winner of tonight's Wildcat B feature event. And that concludes our race program for the evening. We're glad that you decided to spend your evening here at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. And we hope that you'll make it a habit to get right back here with us each and every Saturday night. And of course, this week, Wednesday night, it's the Firecracker Special with an outstanding race program complemented by a fantastic fireworks display that you won't want to miss. So be sure to get right back with us here Wednesday night. as we provide short track racing at its very best right here at one of New England's premier short tracks, Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Good evening.